Alright guys, today I've got a treat for you. I've got general election matchup polls. Now, before we dive into the results of these polls, I just want to say one thing. These are all hypothetical, okay? So I want you to take it with a little bit of a grain of salt. Don't just say, oh, it's set in stone now that Trump's gonna win by 1 point. She's gonna lose by two. No, don't take away that. What I want you guys to take away is how things might play out depending on the candidates facing each other, whether it's Clinton versus Trump or Sanders versus Trump, who might win, and just a ballpark measurement of how large or small the win or loss might be. Alright, so let's dive into the results of these polls. First I'm going to be doing the nationwide poll results from Clinton versus Trump, then some of the statewide poll results of Clinton versus Trump, and then finally Bernie's poll results. So let's dive into these, man. Let's do first the nationwide poll result of Clinton versus Trump. Who's going to win? So this is the NBC poll. It was conducted of 11,089 registered voters, conducted from May 2nd to May 8th. And in this poll, Clinton versus Trump, Hillary does win by 5 points. Nationwide, she gets 49% of those polled to Trump's 44% of those polled. And Trump, he does win amongst independents. He edges her out, and he wins overwhelmingly with Republicans under 30. Now, these results are troubling, man. They are. Because you have to consider the fact that Trump is the most unpopular candidate in the history of polling. Yeah, that's right. He has the highest unfavorable rating of any candidate polled in the history of these political polls. And you're only able to get a 5-point win against this guy 6 months out. That's completely erasable. That's weak sauce. Okay? And you're only able to get a 5-point win. Then you consider the fact that she's losing amongst the largest voting bloc in the country, larger than Democrats and Republicans. Independents are the largest voting bloc in the country, and you're losing to this guy, the most unpopular candidate in the history of polling. That speaks volumes, man. It shows that she would be in serious trouble against Donald Trump. But I ain't done, man. It gets much, much worse for Hillary Clinton. So some of these statewide poll results, this was done by Quinnipiac, all these states. So, in the crucial swing states of Pennsylvania, Florida, and Ohio, Hillary Clinton is in serious trouble. So in Pennsylvania, Hillary Clinton is able to eke out, just scrape by with a 1-point win. I don't know if that's within the margin of error, but it sounds like it might be. Then in Florida, Hillary Clinton again scrapes by with a 1-point win. And then in Ohio, Hillary Clinton loses by 4 points against Donald Trump. That's terrible, man. That is absolutely atrocious. That's a terrible performance in these polls by Hillary Clinton. Because again, as I just said, the most unpopular candidate in the history of polling. But then you also got to consider this. If she loses these states, let's be clear here, she loses this election. And she's in danger of losing all these states 6 months out. That's terrible, man. Florida, Ohio, Pennsylvania, these are extremely important swing states. And if she loses these, she loses the election. And you know, it's no mystery as to why this is. For years, we have not been able to trust Hillary Clinton. Over her career, she's not given us many reasons to. Okay, when you talk about all the money she's taken from Wall Street, all the money she's taken from the insurance companies, all the money she's even been taking from fossil fuel lobbyists, then you consider some of the disastrous votes that she's had over her career, whether it's the war in Iraq, where she voted for the slaughter of 200,000 innocent people, the destabilization of the region, then the building blocks for ISIS was laid down, allowed them to flourish now. Then you consider some of the disastrous free trade deals she voted for over her career, whether it's PNTR with China, she lobbied for NAFTA, she lobbied for TPP, okay? Then you consider the vote for the Patriot Act, where we basically took a crap on the Constitution, revoked Americans' basic privacy rights, and allowed the NSA now to be able to spy on nearly everything we do on the internet and our phone calls. Okay? These are the terrible votes that she's had. These are the reasons why she's underperforming with Donald Trump. Because voters aren't stupid. They see your history. They see all the scandals that you've been involved in. They see all these different types of things, and they realize, you know what? I cannot trust Hillary Clinton to have my back. I cannot trust Hillary Clinton to be my leader and be my president. That's why she's losing. It's nothing different. Alright? But, speaking of a guy who isn't losing against Donald Trump, Bernie Sanders. Here are his poll results, nationwide versus Donald Trump. So, in this nationwide NBC poll, Bernie Sanders wins by 13 points against Donald Trump, mops the floor with the guy. He gets 53% of those polled to Trump's 40% of those polled. Bernie also wins by 22 points amongst independents. He wins 52 to 30 to Trump. Now, even amongst Republicans under 30, Bernie gets 3 and 10. That's freaking great, man. And you know what? Again, it's the same thing with Clinton. And this gets to a larger point. The Democratic Party, they continue running to the right. Every single election, they run to the right. They run to the right. Well, you know what? What happens when we actually embrace progressive policy? You get Bernie, where you're winning a whole bunch of states, and despite the system being rigged against you, you get nearly half of the Democratic Party to vote for you. And in these general election matchup polls, you win. You wipe the floor with Donald Trump. You win overwhelmingly with independents, even in the primary and in these polls. You know why? He embraces progressive policy. He's not afraid to actually embrace his liberalism, to actually say, I'm going to fight for you. I'm going to fight for progressive policy. This is what the Democratic Party doesn't understand. Progressive policy is overwhelmingly popular with the American people. Overwhelmingly. Raising the minimum wage, overwhelmingly popular. Higher taxes for the rich, overwhelmingly popular. Single-payer health care, very much popular. Even ending wars overseas, with the Iraq War and ending the Afghanistan War, overwhelmingly popular. Okay? But the Democratic Party, they never get it. They do stuff like, let's vote for these disastrous free trade deals. Let's vote for the Patriot Act. Let's vote for the war in Iraq. Let's defend Wall Street. Let's take money from Wall Street. Let's take money from the insurance companies. Let's take money from all these different special interests. And I'm just sitting here like, what? What are you doing? This is why you lose elections. But they never have a clue. You know what, man? Until they get a clue, we're going to be seeing people like Hillary Clinton be in serious trouble against a guy like Donald Trump. We're going to continue to lose elections. We're going to continue to lose Senate and House seats because we continue running to the right instead of embracing progressive policy. Bernie embraced the progressive policy. So he wins amongst independents. He wins against people like Donald Trump because you know what? Progressive policy is going to win in an election against hate and bigotry and racism. But instead of running on progressive policy, you run to the right. So you know what? People are going to vote for the real Republican over basically a Republican light. It's dumb, man. But they keep doing it every single election. And until they figure it out, we're going to continue to lose. Bottom line, man.